Good afternoon and welcome to Injustice Investigations. I'm your host, Al Scott. Today is April 1st, 2019, and it is National Recognize That Idiot in the White House Day. Again, it's April 1st, 2019, and today is National Recognize That Idiot in the White House Day. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, well, good afternoon, Jacqueline Hall. How are you today? Good to see you. Good to see you all. Briefly, a little update on R. Kelly. R. Kelly's lawyer, Greenberg, appeared in court today and withdrew the motion asking for the judge's permission to allow R. Kelly to go outside of the country to perform. That an issue came up, I think, last Friday when they petitioned the court about it. Then, alleging he had, I think, 3 to 5 shows to do. Well, the Bot's government lashed back and said, that's a lie, we don't know anything about that. I honestly think it was a mix-up because they were saying that he was going to perform for the royal family over there, and that wasn't the case. In the midst of him performing, they was hoping that they could maybe he could visit the royal family. So I think that's where the mix-up came in with that, but then I could be wrong too. So anyway, Attorney Greenberg for R. Kelly has withdrawn the motion asking the judge for permission to go outside of the country. Jacqueline Hall, I'm doing excellent, marvelous, superb, splendid, wonderful, magnificent, and there might be one line there somewhere. Okay, there's some more developing news with R. Kelly. We will get to those on tomorrow. Right now, we want to go and look at an issue in Los Angeles, California. It was sometime after 3 p.m., yesterday about 3:20, when we received the emails that 33-year-old rapper Nipsey Hussle was fatally shot while standing outside of his store in South Los Angeles. He was shot multiple times along with 2 other men. Those 2 men are still in the hospital, and they have been listed in, I think, stable condition. Now, unfortunately, we all know that Nipsey did not survive the shooting. Again, he was shot multiple times, and we shared pictures a little while ago. The last pictures taken of him when paramedics were trying to save his life and get him to the hospital, but all to no avail. So today we offer our sincere condolences to the rapper's family. I listened to an audio a little while ago when the rapper was shot, and as he was being put on the stretcher to get into the paramedics' vehicle, and there was a lady in the back. And I don't know if she was a relative or a friend or a fan or what, but you couldn't help but get emotional when you heard her screams, and she was saying something to the extent like, "God, no, why?" And it just kind of bothered me a little bit as I listened to her scream, and then I watched them as they was working on him to try to save his life, but unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries there. At this time, no one has been arrested. All we know is that he was shot multiple times. The subject is said to be a black male. Unless something has changed last night, the police would not say whether they was in a vehicle or if the guy walked up. They just said it was a black male who came and shot the rapper. And it's ironic because today Nipsey was scheduled to meet with LAPD, top brass officials, to discuss ways to cut down on the violence in the city. This was something that was set up about, I think, 2 or 3 months ago and it was scheduled for later on today. Now, reports from LAPD says that they're saddened by what has happened to the rapper, but they will go on with the meeting that's scheduled, and I think that's the best thing to do because it's about violence there, you know. So we don't know what happened, but I saw a lot of comments yesterday, right, and some today, and these are some comments from your pro-black brothers. We got to saddle up. He's been assassinated. We got to go. Listen to me. Every fight is not your fight. Every fight does not involve black people saddling up, especially when you have not heard the conclusion of the whole matter, of who shot him, why he was shot, was he the intended target. So sometimes I think we just need to be quiet and watch. And after you've heard the conclusion of the whole matter, then you may speak then. Because sometimes when you speak too immature, you make yourself look super stupid. You know, this is not about playing the race card now. Not to dampen him or stain the brother in any way, but we have to remember now, at one time, and I think he was a member of the Rolling 60s Crips, I think. But he had begun to turn his life around for the best. Somebody says, just sit down. Good afternoon, Sam. I totally agree with you. Just sit down somewhere and just be quiet. You know, there is enough going on right now. So if you look at what happened yesterday, and with a brother, 3 people being shot, 1 being killed. If I say let's saddle up and let's go, okay, well, I'm about to do the same thing that has been done to him. And that does not help the situation. That makes it worse. You may not give a damn about the next person, but everybody's somebody's child. And whatever I want for me and my family, it should be the exact same thing that I want for you and your family. If you owe me, you owe me. If you done me wrong, then you just done me wrong. If we go biblical, the Bible says, as much lieth within you, be at peace with all mankind. He said, as much lieth within you, be at peace with all mankind. Listen, I'm not the reason you're angry. I'm not the reason you're happy. I'm not the reason you're frustrated. I'm not the reason you're sad. You are the controller of your own emotions. The battlefield that goes on inside of your mind can be controlled by you. But when you let hatred and anger and frustration and jealousy take up residence in your mind, then violence enters into the mind, which brings what? Violence to the streets. You have to control your own emotions. I don't make you cry. I don't make you angry. The way you deal with it is the way you deal with it. And so we have to stop saying, you made me do this, you made me do that. You are the controller of your emotions. We have to learn to be emotionally intelligent. You're not going to like everything in life. Timmy Lowe, I bow to you, sir. Humbly bow to you, my brother, Timmy Lowe. No, we're not talking about Michelle Obama today. No, we're not doing a story on it either. No. Okay. I want to look back at Nipsey just a bit, because we don't have a few minutes here. Again, we don't know what went wrong. Good afternoon, Cynthia. Why he was killed, or was he the intended target? California bill. Thank you for tuning in today. But we do know that he came on the scene, I think, in late 2010. All he had was some popular mixtapes with him. But he later hooked up, collaborated with YG, Snoop Dogg, and a host of others. And after Nipsey did that, his name would become a household name. And it did. I think that was something he was created to do because he did it well. I've heard so many people say so many good things about the brother that it just makes you sit and you go like, man, why? Why? They said that he really lived up to giving back to the community where he came from. He went back. They say he would give people in the neighborhood jobs. If your rent was due, he'd pay your rent. He'd pay your other bills. He even went to a school and he bought every child at that school a pair of tennis. I'm trying to find the name of that school. I can't find it, but yeah, he bought every child at that school a pair of tennis. And I thought that was wonderful. I thought that was amazing. That's really giving back to the community. Jacqueline Hall says, I don't understand all this violence between black men. It's so ridiculous that we are going to have a generation of kids fatherless and motherless because of this violence. Ms. Hall, you just preached. You just preached. Indeed. It's a very sad time because it's just, we're doing what the white man used to do to us. By any means necessary, eliminate us off the planet. And now the white man sits back and he laughs because we're doing it to ourselves. It's like the Willie Lynch syndrome. It's really here. Everybody is somebody's child. And you have to realize that. We have to realize that we have become our own stumbling blocks. We have become our own enemy. We have become our own worst nightmare. We have. I heard the bishop say, he said, Lord, hide me. He said, hide me from the enemy. The bishop said, Lord, hide me from the one that seeks to harm me. Lord, hide me from the one that wants to destroy me. He said, Lord, hide me from the enemy. And then at the end of his sermon, the bishop said, Lord, hide me from the enemy. Even if the enemy you hide ain't nobody but little old me. Sometimes we become our own worst enemy. And we have to realize that we're executing one another just because we have the ability to do it, because we don't know how to get in touch with our emotions to sit down somewhere and get some me time. Yeah, men have me time too. Who you are when you're by yourself, that's the real you. And so we need to have more times like those. And instead of when you get in your vehicle, the first thing we have a tendency to do, we cut on the radio. Sometimes drive without that radio. Listen to the inner man. But a lot of times we don't want to do that because we don't want to hear what the inner man is going to say to us. Because we're not ready to let certain things go. But we must begin to have a spiritual meeting with self. Because it's just getting worse. Sad singing and slow driving. Whatever reason one gives for the execution of this man is an inexcusable excuse. I didn't create your life, therefore I don't have a right to end your life. There are no words on the planet right now that you can say to the family that will comfort them. From Genesis to Revelation, there's not one word in that Bible that can comfort them right now. And I know many of you all don't agree with that, but trust me, there's nothing you can say right now. This is a loved one who has been taken from them in the twinkling of an eye. Whatever he had planned later for that day would be interrupted by a disturbed individual. There are warning signs before we do anything. But if people don't know what those warning signs are, then we will miss them every day. And tragedy like these will continue to be. You share so much through social media in a day. Rarely do I see our people sharing knowledge. You'll share the fight videos. You'll share the sister shaking her ass. Or you'll share the black sister who every time she takes a picture on Facebook, she's got to show you her ass. Her titties are hanging out. Well, you can just about look at a person's picture and tell who that person really is. When I see women on Facebook like that, in my mind, the first thing I go, well, damn. So all she has to offer is ass, face and ass. And there's no intellect up there whatsoever. And that's what it is. Because if it was intellect, you would offer intellect. But when you offer your ass shots, it tell me everything I need to know about you. And it's nothing good. It's nothing good. A man will greet you how he sees you and the way you carry yourself. Respect is never given. Respect is always earned. You have to earn that respect. Shortly after he became a household name, Nipsey was nominated for Best Rap Album at the 2019 Grammys. And his neighborhood was so proud of him. Probably people he never even met. They took to the streets last night to deal with their anger and their frustration. And they partied. Many of you may not be in agreement with that, but if that's how they do it, then that's how they do it. If I was there, I probably would have done the exact same thing. He was going somewhere in life. He knew where he wanted to go, and he was making efforts to get there. Again, we are told that Nipsey gave back to his community, helped out the community, giving people jobs, paying their bills, rent, funeral, and things like that. He stayed humble. He didn't change. He knew exactly who he was and where he was trying to go. Now, if we don't get a grip on this, it can get worse. It can get worse. We learned early on in grade school to be competitive. You know, the field day, in the potato sack race or whatever. They're teaching you how to be competitive in life. And most of us live by that. Simply put, I got to be one up on you. And that's not the way it should be. Stay in your lane, know your place, find out where you really should be, and you get there, and you stay there. So now, a family has to bury a loved one just because their life was interrupted through violence. But isn't it ironic that he was scheduled today to go meet with some top brass officials at LAPD on preventing violence in the city? I am looking for a quote that he said, right in my face, shortly before he was killed. This is the tweet that he sent out. He said, having strong enemies is a blessing. It's almost like he knew something was about to take place. Shortly after that, he was killed. When we first got the email, just a few people that got shot. We didn't think it was as serious as it was until we received the next one, that he had been shot multiple times and the suspect was on the run. And then the third or fourth email said, Mr. Scott, he died. And And that's, and it's sad. And I watched them, the medical technicians, as they worked on him, trying to get him to the hospital in hopes of saving his life. But all to no avail. And when I watched them work on him, I thought back to when my nephew Bruce called me and told me that my other nephew Demetrius had been shot twice. Shot once in the stomach and once in the head. Last year, October the 1st. We were getting ready to walk out of the door to go to Walmart, and the phone rang, and I answered it. And he told me shortly after 5 o'clock. And as I'm on my way to the Pines Road where it happened, I saw the paramedics coming off the interstate. And there was a police car with lights and sirens on extremely close to that vehicle. And I knew then, I said, that's my nephew in there. They working on my nephew, trying to save his life. And I was so messed up, I didn't know whether to go follow the paramedics to go into the house or what. But by the time we got to the hospital, my baby brother, Timmy Lowe, he called. He said, bro, where you at? I said, give me about 2 minutes and I'm finna pull up. I'm right here. And I knew when I said right here, I knew he was finna tell me. And he said, he ain't make it, bro. And I couldn't believe it. Just like this young man, he was so full of life. So much to offer. And all because of somebody do not know how to control their emotions. You end somebody's life. You may not give a damn about that person, but somebody does. When does it end? When does it end? What can we do to get you to realize that you're interrupting families, that you're interrupting happiness, that you're interrupting life because you do not know how to control your emotions? You let your emotions control you. And that don't make you a damn man because you can pull a damn trigger. Given the right size gun, a child could pull a damn trigger. When do the bullshit stop? When? When? We don't have to worry about Ku Klux or Klan anymore. Because you niggas out there doing a damn good job. Yeah, I said niggas. We have niggas and we have black men. And you niggas are helping the white man destroy the black people. But quiet as it's kept, they don't need your help for that. They really don't. They really don't. You have to realize this, people. Whatever you want for yourself and your family, it should be the exact same thing that you want for the next man. And before you walk out that door to go kill somebody, jump on somebody, argue with somebody, realize one thing. Not only are you about to interrupt their life, but your own family's life is about to be interrupted as well. You don't think about that. Too many black people have this I don't give a fuck attitude. And you don't give a fuck until you're caught. And then you're sitting there and crying. But you're only crying because you got caught, not because of what you did. I don't give a fuck. You don't at that particular time. You have the ability to decide what you're going to do. I'm going to go beat him. I'm going to go stab him. I'm going to go shoot him. That's up to you. You have that ability. But the only thing that you cannot do, once you make that decision, you do not have the ability to decide what consequences that you must not face for your diabolical actions. This may not have been one of those shows that you all like when I'm screaming and hollering. But it's this way today because of trouble. Whenever I see anybody, black, white, male, or female, I see myself in them. I don't care if they're racist, I still see myself in them. Therefore, I'm not going to do anything to hurt them or disrupt their family life. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I haven't always done right, but I haven't always done wrong either. My mom raised me. Just like everybody else, I think I had the best mama on the planet. When I made wrong turns and did wrong, it was no reflection on her. It was me. I haven't always done wrong, but haven't always done wrong, yeah, but right, whatever. I can't even get it out now. What I'm trying to tell you is this. Think about what you're thinking about before you go and do what you're thinking about. I'll say it again. Think about what you're thinking about before you go and do what you are thinking about. You may not like the child next door. Their pants may sag. You may call her a little fast-ass girl. But guess what? Somebody loves her and somebody loves him. Bring back the love. Bring back the caring. Bring back the teaching. Family got to become family again. When we would sit down at the table and it would be family time. And we would eat dinner together. I say this a lot. I was at a restaurant a few years ago. It's a family about 12 or 13. Family night. But everybody at that table had an electronic device in his or her hand. So that wasn't family hour. When we said family hour, leave your electronic devices to the side. And let's sit at the table. If you can't do it but one night out of a week, and let's have true family time. That's what electronic devices during family hour, that don't go together. It's a time to talk, not text, not be on social media. We got to get back to family values. The OJ says that the man is the head of the house. And if the man is connected with God, then the family is definitely going to be all right. It's like, we said the Bible says, woman, submit thyself unto thy husband. It says that. But here's what you don't hear preachers tell you. That she's not supposed to submit herself unto the husband until the man himself has submitted himself unto God. Therefore, he would lead and guide her and the family in the right direction. She don't just submit because he said submit. There must be a reason. Watch the things that you said, people. Sticks and stones may break my bones. You've heard that in grade school. As you got older, you realize one thing. That's a lie. Words can hurt. Words can destroy you. Words can cause people to commit suicide. So watch what you say, because once you say something, you cannot unsay it. You can't do it. To the family of rapper Nipsey Hussle, my family and I offer our sincere condolences to you. May God keep you in peace, perfect harmony, and be thankful for the time that you had with him. And realize this: before he was ever yours, he belonged to God. And now back to God he goes. I'm Al Scott with Injustice Investigations. Y'all enjoy your day.